Tonight, where red and blue dare, Premiership glory beckons for Liverpool, but Anfield will first have to turn back a rampant Chelsea, hunting down a Champions League berth. Then who stops the rot in London? Fulham desperate to turn their FA Cup form into a league revival against Tottenham, also on the slide.
Yes, there'll be
result, and one that's, you know, Liverpool could take advantage of tonight.
Sure. Here's the goal, Robbie. Just talk us through this. Boxic with the finish.
Well, it's just something that, I mean, you didn't expect. You really didn't expect this result. I mean, he's a class player, Boxic, but really United at home, and they've been just on fire of late.
Yep. Chances.
They had their chances, obviously.
Oh, yeah. There's Van Nistelrooy with a typical strike from him, but the ball just wouldn't go in for Man U this time.
No, and it makes it interesting, doesn't it? Another twist and turn. But the big thing is Arsenal, particularly now in the box seat, and Liverpool's still in there as well. And in spite of the defeat, Manchester United did other. Here's another chance to Boxic.
Just loves getting on the end of the far post, and we should say that the goal, he go United again. I think the chances, Varane started instead of Scholes. Scholes came on, but even he couldn't score, and they just kept missing these chances.
Oh, that's a good chance, isn't it?
Yeah, Van Nistelrooy again.
I mean, normally they go in. The goals flow.
Yep. There's Scholes.
Just one of those days. And it's not a good time of the year to have one.
Indeed, Robbie. Big save from Schwarzer here off the Dutchman.
Yeah, Schwarzer out of the team for a little while. Had the groin injury. Couldn't get back in. Was getting a bit of stick by his own fans, but what a performance he's put on here.
Yeah.
And there's old Sir Alex. I don't think you need to need a translator there.
That was all to do with...
Mate, it's going to be a very, very big stage, mate.
Indeed it will. Yeah, Claudio Ranieri's talking attack with Chelsea. But just quickly, Liverpool fans voted it one of the greatest wins in Europe ever against Roma. So there you go. There's.
Well, I'll tell you what, mate, that's a big shout.
OK, well, let's go across to a packed Anfield. Calling all the action for us is Ian Dark with confirmation of the lineups.
To this ground, the Liverpool fans expect 3 points. Will they get them? Let's check the teams for you. Michael Owen is fully fit again, but only makes the bench for Liverpool, a luxury they can afford with Emil Heskey and Nicolas Anelka in prime form of late. Jari Litmanen misses out despite a goal against Roma in that big win in Europe in midweek. Didi Hamann, who was suspended for that game, returns predictably at the expense of Vladimir Smica. Interestingly, not a single defender on the bench. So Liverpool going out to attack by the look of it here. Chelsea are without the suspended Graham Lasso. There's a reshuffle with Mario Stanic coming into the side. We think he'll play wide on the left, although they could switch Gronkia there. Let's just wait and see with that. Petit's back in the centre of midfield at the expense of Dallabonna. Frank Lampard, the sole Chelsea representative in the England squad, announced last night. Strikers Hasselbank and Gudjonsson need one more to make it 50 goals between them this season. So that's a real confrontation between the two strikers and this miserly Liverpool defence, which gives absolutely nothing away. In terms of goals conceded per game, it's the best in the league. Just wonder whether Liverpool can produce the same intensity again after what was a very, very emotional night here on Tuesday, as Gerard Houllier made his return after 5 months of illness. He could so easily have lost his life. The doctors have done a magnificent job. He's waited a long time, but now he is back in the hot seat, and maybe at a crucial time to give Liverpool just the impetus they need for the run-in, not only in the league, but of course in the Champions League, where they've got a very good draw, really, against Bayer Leverkusen. And that's about as winnable a match as they could have pulled out of the hat, with the possible exception of Panathinaikos, with due respect for those two good European sides. Whereas Manchester United got Deportivo La Coruña, who've beaten them twice already this season. Big game, this one. Remember, Chelsea beat Liverpool 4-0 at Stamford Bridge back in December, and that started a very poor Liverpool run where they only took, I think it was 7 points out of 21. And if they hadn't had that hiccup, they'd have the championship just about wrapped up by now. I'm sure they've been reflecting on that, but all teams go through that kind of spell. Emil Heskey here has hit scoring form at just the right time. He's paired with Nicholas Anelka today, Anelka who was ineligible in midweek. And Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank has scored 5 goals in 4 matches since he went to Chelsea against Liverpool. Gudjohnsen was on the mark too in that 4-0 drubbing at the Bridge in December. Chelsea at last appear to be finding some consistency, but the ever-eccentric Claudio Ranieri has given them a real rollicking apparently in his team talk. He showed them a video of the 4-0 win they had and said, look at this, look at all these times you went to sleep in the game as well. So I don't think it's that easy against Liverpool. Whether that's a masterpiece of psychology or not, we are about to find out. But Ranieri is full of surprises. It did look as if he might not last the season earlier on, but he's just been offered a new 2-year contract. Michael Owen on the bench today. That's good news, of course, for England after his latest hamstring problems. I think it's going to be like Ryan Giggs with him. And Mikhail Forsell there, who seems to score just about every time he comes off the bench for Chelsea of late. So he's a handy man for them to have in reserve. Mark Halsey is the referee for this match between the sides, currently lying 3rd and 6th, though by the end of it Liverpool could be on top of the Premiership for the first time since December. And it's Liverpool who get us underway here, and an early touch for Jamie Carragher, who will have been disturbed to have been left out of the England squad announced last night for the friendly against Italy at Leeds on Wednesday. Because Ashley Cole is fit again and Wayne Bridge made such a promising debut, so he's behind them. Desailly and Gallas providing a French connection in the centre of the Liverpool defence, Chelsea defence I should say, this afternoon. Chelsea will have to cope with the speed of an ever-eager Anelka, for whom the Premiership, of course, is the big thing. And he's offside here, Heskey. Of course, Anelka caused a lot of damage in Arsenal's double-winning year, though he was better the season after, in truth. Liverpool have slipped up once or twice, mind you, at Anfield. Some unscripted draws. Gudjohnsen. Chelsea have won their last 3 matches by a margin of 4 goals to 0. Twice Spurs were the victims, the other time Sunderland. Crosses deep, too deep. And Grokyar is playing on the right, and Stanic on the left. Stanic is usually a wide right player, so he's a little bit out of position there, I would say. But Chelsea will have to live with that. Here is Gudjohnsen, the very clever Icelandic international. What a signing he's proving to be now. And he cost $4 million from Bolton when he arrived. Here he is again, 22 goals this season. Hasselbank on 27. Here is Stanic. And Xavier is quickly becoming a favourite at Liverpool, even though he only moved across Stanley Park from Everton. But Johnson's little layoff, and then Petit letting one fly, looking to follow up his championship medal with Arsenal by making the Champions League with Chelsea. The Roman Sergeant, they call him. Apparently there was a lot of strong language at this Chelsea team meeting yesterday, with Mr. Ranieri looking to buoy up his troops. He doesn't want one of those occasionally flat displays that Chelsea sometimes give, though they're putting that habit behind them of late. Only 1 defeat in their last 9 league matches. That That was at Charlton. Here is Johnson again. He's one of those players who's difficult to pick up. He's full of clever little runs, and of course he takes some of the heat off Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. Chelsea have been full of goals. Hasselbank, who can really hit them. He loves those low grass cutters. But this one, I think, will be hit with pace over the wall if he gets it right. Lampard's going to try and tee it up for him. The Rangers getting on for 30 yards. It is Hasselbank, and this time the wall does its job. Chasing, he might get there as well. That's a bit dodgy, but Kudicini was quickly on the scene, and just as well too, keeping it to Hoy and Mark Bosnich out of the picture at Stamford Bridge. Kudicini, here's Herpia, wonderful signing, and Oncho, those two providing a red barrier to all in Europe. Here's Heskey. Doesn't make the challenge. Now he does. Did very well too, didn't he, the Nigerian? Marcel Desailly, who was sent off on this ground a couple of seasons ago when Chelsea finished with 9 men and lost 2-1. Gerrard. That hits Gallas, not quite sure where it was, but quickly recovered. And then Murphy. There's claims from the crowd mainly. Liverpool should have had a free kick here. They think Desai handled it. They might be right. Phil Thompson wants to know why. He's been trying to keep the lid on his emotions, Phil Thompson, all the time he's been the caretaker boss. But now he's back to a bit more of the old hysterical rant stuff again. Now he's got Gerard Houllier back alongside him. But what a job, what a dignified job Phil Thompson did while Gerard Houllier was away. Really struck the right note from several points of view, I think. Here's Petit. Melchiot made a little run forward and continues with that as Johnson's clever little layoff, the cushion header to Stanic here, who might try his luck. Does. It was always a bit on the optimistic side to beat Dudek from out there. Riding on this one. Big job for the referee. It is a terrific tussle in the FA Barclaycard Premiership this season. Now Desai under a little bit of pressure from Anelka. Comes to Murphy. Lampard, who's in that England squad for the Italy game. Gronkiar, after all his injury problems, giving Chelsea some real talent and width wide on the right. Dudek, by the way, celebrated his 29th birthday yesterday. I don't think it was any telegram from the Pope this time. He's had them in the past. Here is Heskey. Risa. He's been one of the reasons for Liverpool coming out of that bad patch they had, John Narnia-Risa, since they switched him forward from left back to play wide on the left of midfield. It's given them a bit of thrust down the flanks that they were rather missing. His long throw anyway, away by Desai, and Hasselbank does well, on to Johnson. Hasselbank with him, the two of them trying to work a scissors movement here. These two have a great rapport. This time it's Hasselbank pulling it back across the face of goal, and Chelsea still have it with Gronkiar. Played in again, and Hasselbank, they hadn't really picked him up. He was very deep there. And some good defending by Oncho. Murphy wide. Carissa. has been doing pretty well lately with goals against Fulham and Everton, and very eager, and he's settled in very well despite all those stories about him being an incredible sulk during his Arsenal days. The fourth official wanting a word with Claudio Ranieri, who seems more pumped up than usual. Gronkia. Hasselbank making a run in the middle. Can he get there? No. Oncho very sure with his touch. Reese did well to keep that in play at all. And Gallas it was who got it away here to Mario Melchiot, the former Ajax player, linking up down that right side with another man from the Amsterdam club in Gronkia. Petty nicely fed in towards Goodjohnson. Gerrard, beautifully done outside of the foot. He sometimes sees passes that other players don't. The World Cup, of course, just 2.5 months away now. All the players hoping to be involved will be hoping beyond hope that they don't pick up any nasty injuries this close. Xavier, and it was out of play, and that was a little bit careless, to put it mildly, by Liverpool. Won 7 of their last 8. Liverpool. There's two sides here who are really in hot form. Served 2 European suspensions this season. Haman does have a bit of disciplinary problem. Heskey here. Suddenly finds a bit of room for his cross, and Nelka was there. And in the end, Gallas and Desai between them did the job. Settled in at Chelsea now. Took him a little bit of time after so long at West Ham, but he's thriving of late. Here's Desai. Gronkia. Get the impression with Chelsea that there's a greater collective spirit about them than there perhaps was, say, in the autumn. A fierce one by Babayaro, but a fair one, said the referee. Lampard doesn't quite get that one right, and Liverpool can build something here. Risa plays it in, and Nelka is offside. He's still on loan, Nicolas Anelka, and it had cost Liverpool, the word is, about £17 million to buy him from Paris Saint-Germain. And he might be persuaded to do that as well. He's looked pretty good since he arrived around Christmas time. Herpia. No real problems. Chelsea's last win here, by the way, was 10 years ago, 2-1, when Vinnie Jones of Hollywood fame these days and Dennis Wise scored the goals. Here's Anelka. Appreciated by the fans, and Heskey in behind but offside. Chelsea's offside trap working so far, but was he offside? I don't think so. I think that's level at worst, and level should be play on. So Liverpool were a bit unlucky there. Gronkjar unable to keep it in play. Hasn't played many games at all for Chelsea since he signed. He's had a lot of injury problems, but getting a little run now out there on the right. Lampard. It's all a bit tight over there. Well read by Herpy, but Petit's picked it up and Herpy was a bit out of position. Shame from Chelsea's point of view, they couldn't have built something in that channel. Manchester United on 64, Arsenal 63, Liverpool 62. That could become 65 if they get it right here. Anelka laid in towards Heskey, not accurately enough, away by Gallas. Gerrard picking it up. Chelsea's organisation good, even Stanic back there, feeding back to help the defence. It's worth remembering too, summing up the form for this, that Chelsea have won at Newcastle and Manchester United this season. 3-0 it was at Old Trafford too. Up towards Heskey. Murphy's in for it. Now Desai with the header away. There's no way Anelka could have got that fast as he is. He would have needed to have been entered in a greyhound race. Gerrard was at a dinner the other night, apparently, where they auctioned Emo Heskey's shirt from that Roma win the other night. It fetched £4,000, and it had a little message on from Gerard Houllier saying it's great to be back, and that was for sick children. So it is good to see him back, and I think all of football agrees with that, no matter what your allegiance is. Free kick. Gerrard goes down. Herpy to take. Towards Anelka. It's given away by Stanic in a bad area too. Anelka. Johnson. It's good skill that. Volleyed for Gronkjar, who's looking for his two strikers, and good Johnson was in there. He got in behind as well. And first chance for Chelsea. It's taken a while to arrive. Past the quarter of an hour marks. A lovely ball by Good Johnson. First of all, to set up Gronkjar, and then the Icelandic striker continues with his run and couldn't quite finish it off. He was on the stretch, but Liverpool could have easily been undone here. It's a great ball in from Gronkjar. Petit, who looks up for it here today, doesn't he? Out to Gronkjar, up against Jamie Carragher, who seems to play better at left back, even though he's naturally right-footed. Had a terrific game against Roma in the week, Carragher, but not enough to get him into Sven-Göran Eriksson's thinking for the Italy game. Amar with the header away. Gallas. Gronkjar was caught a bit late. The referee was just waiting to see if any advantage accrued before blowing the whistle. None did. So he's given Chelsea the free kick. It's good refereeing by Mark Halsey. Petit has been swinging a bit of a wicked ball with his left foot. Sai is one of those who's in there. Well defended by Liverpool, who've only let in one goal. That was last week by Gareth Southgate at Middlesbrough. That was in their last 7 matches. In the league, anyway. Away by Carragher. No, it was out of play. goals away from home. Chelsea get 7 in all this season. They've only been beaten 3 times on the road at West Ham, Arsenal and Charlton. So they're unbeaten outside London on their travels. Victory for them would put them above 4th place Newcastle, who are not in league action this week. They lost in the cup to Arsenal yesterday. And Chelsea would overtake them on goal difference should they get 3 points here. Gerrard. Perpia. Heskey's little layoff to Xavier. No, wrong ball. Hasselbank does well. Picks up good Johnson. Seemed to know instinctively where he was. Chances, but it's an absorbing battle nonetheless, and an important one too. Melchiot, Petit. Desai, was that a foul on Anelka? No. Petit dallied on it. Murphy took it away from him, and Heskey. Had that been played correctly, Chelsea might have been stretched. Well, it wasn't. Not often you see Manu Petit caught like that in possession. It might have been a bit expensive, that. Babayaro, the player, helping it forward. Strange touch by Hasselbank, but it worked. Losing out, and Liverpool will get a free kick for that. Gerrard, Anelka, Gerrard again. I knew he'd play that first time ball. Loves to curl one in, and he's very good at it. I'm sure the Swiss international enjoying this taste of life at the top in England, having been relegated with Blackburn Rovers. Liverpool very definitely eating from the top table again after a few years in the wilderness. It's 12 years since they won the championship, and Chelsea haven't done it since 1955. Days of Ted Drake as manager and Roy Bentley as skipper. And only the Chelsea pensioners can remember that one. Now Gronkia looking to raid down this side. He hasn't really got behind Carragher at all as yet, but has curved in that really good ball that nearly set up a goal for Johnson. It's tense. It's Gallas. Not a good ball. Easy for Gerrard. Now Haman. And Nelka's got it here and set up the volley. And he's one of the few players out there who would be capable of finishing a chance like that off. It was a real, well, 25%er. Trying to lift Liverpool as they've done so many times down the years. Very knowledgeable crowd at Anfield as well. Murphy. Gerrard. Gallas getting it away. I think the Liverpool fans are knowledgeable enough to know that a lot of patience will be needed here against against a good Brazilian side. Gallas has got himself in a mess there, but Desai was around to help him out. It's 0-0 and it's kind of 50-50 in every way so far, though. Chelsea it is who've carved out the one real opportunity so far. Sign of Liverpool's attacking intent here, though, that business I mentioned earlier, that they haven't got a single defender among their substitutes today. All very well, but if they pick up an injury in that department, they'd have to do a hasty reshuffle. Maybe Risa could go back, I guess. Now then, Gronkia shows a real turn of foot and is bundled over. Free kick, surely. Carragher couldn't cope with his pace there. Lovely run from Gronkia. Old-fashioned right-wing play. It was prevalent 40 years ago. You don't see so much of that these days, the old tricky wing wizards. But Gronkia is old school in that respect. Carragher's got a booking for his trouble. First one of the day. Not his weekend, is it? Out of the England squad. Now a booking. Well, not yet anyway. Phil Thompson is desperately trying to get something organised out there. What I couldn't begin to tell you is Chelsea swinging the free kick. Not a good one, though. Gerrard was the player on the near post. Liverpool, though, are becoming a side who, as in their heyday, feared around Europe. Now, has Gerrard picked up a knock there? He's not moving too freely, is he? Keep an eye on that for you. Played in again by Petit. Good Johnson in behind here, looking to see who's arriving. And Stanic has, and what a save! And then Hasselbank over. Incredible action, brilliant save from Dudek. And then Hasselbank with a perfect opportunity, really, on the volley. Couldn't make it count. Good Johnson in behind. He wasn't offside. It seems Stanic must score. He hit it perfectly. That's a great save, and Hasselbank too would have fancied himself, but the ace marksman couldn't put this one in the back of the net. Look at this save. That is incredible. No wonder they think he's one of the best goalkeepers, if not the best, in Europe, Dudek. He's looking about the best, I must say, in the Premiership at the moment. There would be arguments, I guess, about that one. You'll have your own views. Chelsea looking menacing here and full of self-belief too. Now we reckon that Steven Gerrard may have to come off here, and that's a worry for Liverpool with the title run-in now upon us and Champions League dates, not to mention England, of course, and the World Cup. Doesn't look too much. He's just moving a bit uneasily. Some kind of muscle strain, hard to say really, and he's here. He's always there, isn't he? You wouldn't mind his air miles or his petrol allowance. Desai is penalised. Looks like Vladimir Smica may be coming on to replace, well, Gerrard, we think. They won't take any risk, Liverpool, because they do have these big games, and there's no point playing on if you've got some kind of twinge, because it can become a lot worse and become a much longer job to repair. Gerrard has had his injury problems in the past, like Michael Owen. He's definitely feeling something there. We'll probably get the word on that in due course. So Smica did a good job against Roma in midweek. Different sort of player entirely, of course. And that's going to mean Murphy moving inside to the centre of midfield. Meanwhile, John Arne-Risa chips one up towards Heskey. So far, Cudicini has not been stretched into a save, as far as I can remember. And we're getting on for half an hour into this. Liverpool 0, Chelsea 0 in the FA Barclaycard Premiership. Babayaro, helped up by Stanic, who well, does the job in the end. Long ball, but a clever little header from Stanic. That's nicely done by Chelsea. Stanic overruns it though. Tackle from behind will be penalised by Hasselbank, who has a habit of scoring every time he comes to Anfield. Heskey to Anelka. Oh, Reece is wondering why the ball wasn't just laid in low for him. Anelka acknowledges that he got that wrong. Ball might have just taken a little bobble, and sometimes players are unflattered by things like that happening. This was earlier on. Gudjonsson looks up, sees Stanic, great volley, even better save, and then Hasselbank. It wasn't easy. Nor was Stanic's, by the way, the first volley. And they must have feared the worst here, the Liverpool fans, as Hasselbank closed in on it. But they weren't punished. Xavier, really good challenge. Smica, quick feet, the Czech Republic man. He was the fellow who actually went off to get married halfway through Euro 96, wasn't he, Smica? He didn't think the Czech Republic would last in the tournament that long when he arranged his wedding date. And they got to the final. Murphy helping it through. Liverpool, of course, with the option later of introducing Michael Owen. Gudjonsson hoping that Hasselbank can get on the end of it, but Carragher was first to read it. And will come down with snow on it from Gallas. Here's Gudjonsson, who continues to create a thoroughly good impression. Risa takes it quickly towards Heskey here. Anelka, can he get on the end of it? Oh, wonderful challenge by Gallas. That was a terrifically athletic piece of defending. And Chelsea are in his debt for this, because it seemed that Anelka was in. Heskey plays it in. Look, it must be Anelka, you think, but no, Gallas stretches out a leg. So it's still 0-0. That was the most promising situation yet for Liverpool. Babayaro is being called over and is going to go into the book. So both left backs now have been booked. Babayaro, holding on to Heskey, but Heskey was backing into him as well. So possibly a little bit harsh. Looking at that again. Babayaro, by the way, is one of 10 children, and his mum says it's time he got a proper job. He struggled to get one that was better paid, I tell you. But it means Liverpool have the free kick. Risa plays it in, too long for anyone to get a nick onto it. Here's Mario Malkian. Hasselbank making a little run down the channel. Here he is, on towards Kroenke. Chelsea 0 in this crunch game towards the top of the Premiership. Malkiet. Gronkia. Very good challenge, but Chelsea still have it. And they're playing 1-2s with the referee. Now they're so confident. Chelsea, Babayaro. Stanic. Cutting inside. Oh, that's a cute little ball towards Gudjonsson. He's showing his international pedigree there, Mario Stanic. It's starting to look as if Claudio Ranieri has got this side really motoring these days. And Chelsea in this mood are a match and a threat for any side in the Premiership. But against that, you have to wonder how they found themselves eliminated by Hapoel Tel Aviv of Israel in Europe. Such is the mad, mad world of Chelsea. Here's Malkiet. Oh, now then, Risa and Gronkia, and that's a bit of nonsense between those two. I don't think Gronkia made any harm at all. It was, I think, a playful little rub of Risa's head, but he was having none of that. And there's obviously a bit of niggle going on over there. And the referee is consulting his assistant to get a fuller picture. Now, I think he's just going to take the view here. Look, this was just a silly little piece of byplay, and tell them both basically to just get on with it without any recourse to that kind of thing. It's easy to condemn that kind of stuff sitting on the sidelines, but passions do run high in a game. Herpia getting it away. Now it's Malkiet. Gronkia again. He's causing one or two problems, which is why there's the needle. Definitely gives Chelsea an extra dimension on that right side. Desai goes for a pretty ambitious ball towards Stanic. Liverpool's form has been excellent, so is Chelsea's. 20 points out of 27 for the Blues of Stamford Bridge. And dips in form for Newcastle and Leeds before the last couple of matches have helped them get right back in touch with a spot in the Champions League next season, which is where they need to be financially, of course. It's a goldmine, that competition. Chips it forward towards Gudjonsson, who's beaten in the air by Oncho. And Nelka, very nice for Smitsa. Babayaro got an important little foot in, and Chelsea are defending with great discipline and organisation. This is about as tough a game as Liverpool have got left. 4 of their last 6 after this here at Anfield, which may not be the advantage it seems. They've been going pretty well away. They've won the last 5 away. It's a dexterous touch. It's only come out to Haman, Carragher, I beg your pardon, who was driving on it. Hasn't scored in an age, Jamie Carragher. A little bit more by way of attacking threat from Liverpool. Having said that, there's a tremendous belief in the character of this side to eke out results in whatever circumstances. I think we've seen that in the Champions League this season. When it came to it the other night against Roma and they had to win by a couple of goals, they did it. And against a very good side too. express a forethought there. Carragher, who's been booked, along with Babayaro. Those are the only 2 yellow cards so far. Great enthusiast. Jamie Carragher has been with the club since he was 10 years old. He used to be a striker, would you believe? Takes a bit of believing, doesn't it? Now, this is an awkward situation for Cudicini, and for a moment there, Chelsea hearts were in their mouths. I thought the goalkeeper was going to fall over. Playing it forward, and Risa penalised. Talented strikers on view, pretty much being contained by some good defensive work so far. Here is Anelka up against his French teammate Marcel Desailly. He'll be bidding to retain the World Cup, of course, in June in the Far East. Miscue. Smeetser plays it inside. Murphy picking it up. Away by Babayaro. Was that a push on Lampard? The referee thought not. Gronkiar is explaining to the referee that he was not guilty, but I'm afraid the verdict has come back, and it's the complete opposite one, and that means Liverpool have a free kick with half-time approaching. 5 minutes to the break. Murphy floats it towards the back post, and it only needed a touch. Heskey was closing in on it. Well, there was a bit of danger around here, but Desai made sure with that run across Heskey that he didn't get on the end of that. He scored 8 in his last 10 matches after that long autumn drought, Emil Heskey. Anelka chasing. He's quick, isn't he? Quick as lightning. Malkiet's no slow coach either. Lampard's lost possession to Herman. Here's Vladimir Smeetser. Murphy's little touch. Liverpool attacking on a pretty narrow front. They've got no real width down this right-hand side at all. Risa on the left. And for the most part, Chelsea are containing them with not too much trouble. You'd never guess he was Italian, would you, Claudio Ranieri? It's a great place to go and watch football, I tell you. Even if the Italian clubs are just suffering a bit at the moment. Now here's Gronkiar taking on Carragher, beating him for pace again. Well, that might be the key for Chelsea. Jesper Gronkiar. Cost nearly £8 million, and you're beginning to see why Chelsea paid it. Here's Anelka. Might Gerard Houllier be tempted to bring on Michael Owen for the second half? They'd like to bring him back gently, I'm sure. Owen, if they could get by without playing him for another game, that'd give him a bit longer to get right back and more training. Have to take it easy with those suspect hamstrings of his. Got Jari Litmanen around, of course, as well. He's on the bench too today. Not given. Here's Heskey. Back to Anelka. A lot of red shirts arriving in that penalty area now. Here's Risa. touch the hand. Frustration for John Arne Riise, who had a stormer the other night against Roma. Now then, Chelsea looking to break quickly. Good Johnson. Quick feet from him. Was he bundled off it? No, play on, says the referee. Chelsea think they should have had a free kick there. Looks incredulous, doesn't he, Ida Gudjonsson? Like his father, an Icelandic international. In fact, I think when he made his debut for Iceland, he came on as sub for his dad, and that is surely something that is never ever going to be matched in history. Oncho. Heskey. Now Murphy. No, nothing doing for Liverpool there. They just look a little bit flat, as I thought they might, Liverpool, after that huge emotional high in the Champions League the other night when they made it through to the last 8. Chelsea just looking slightly the hungrier side in this first half anyway. Things could change. It's finely poised. Here's Gronkjar, has been one of the key players in this first half. Playing it in deep. It's a good ball in, and Honcho, I think, could have done with a bit more of a shout there, because there was no Chelsea player around. And on another reading of that, I guess you could have had an own goal as a result of this. It's put into a lovely area by Gronkjar. Now, looking at that again, I think Oncho knew exactly what he was doing. It's going to be 1 minute of added time. We've already had 20 seconds of it. Hasselbank. Riise completes the clearance. Here's Melchior. We're going to get the half-time whistle any moment now. Absorbing game without ever quite catching fire yet. That is half-time. Locked at 0-0. These two sides in hot form. Liverpool won't go top if Chelsea hold them here, though. They'll stay in 3rd place. Jesper Gronkjar's been a crucial player for Chelsea as we take a look back at some of the...
Want the inside word on rugby? Join Greg Clark every Thursday for Australia's most comprehensive roundup from the world of rugby union.
Hello everyone, thanks for joining us.
Catch up with all the news, views and stories that are making the headlines both home and abroad.
This is wonderful stuff.
And with a host of special guests.
I didn't realise you wanted me to speak.
It's 60 minutes of essential viewing. So join the team on Inside Rugby, Thursday, 7:30, Fox Sports.
Introducing Hyundai 4-wheel drive Terracan, the tough new 7-seater with a powerful 3.5-litre V6, overprotective safety, including dual airbags and overwhelming features with air, alloys, CD and power, everything as standard, all for under $38,000. New Hyundai 4-wheel drive Terracan, tough to beat.
Come on, get happy now.
Say Fuji, you could win one of 5 trips for 2 adults to the 2002 FIFA World Cup final in Japan. Or you could see it on your JVC widescreen TV. Buy specially marked packs of Fujifilm or Quick Snap cameras. Call 1-900-956-005 and say Fuji for your chance to win.
This weekend from the English Premier League. Saturday morning at 1, Newcastle prepare a special Geordie welcome for Everton. The Merseysiders needing the win as a relegation battle looms. 10:45 Saturday night, Leeds United's Ellen Road host the massive clash with Manchester United. Leeds chasing next season's Champions League, Man U chasing the title. Then the Sunday morning match at 2. Midnight Monday, Tottenham host the traditional Easter fixture up against Leeds at White Hart Lane. Tuesday at 5, Blackburn continue their battle against relegation as Southampton visit Ewood Park. This weekend, Saturday morning, Newcastle Everton, Saturday night, Leeds Man U, then the Sunday morning match. Monday, Tottenham Leeds, Tuesday, Blackburn Southampton, live. To satisfy your insatiable appetite for sport, from April the 1st, Fox Sports 2 goes full-time. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So now, with 2 full-time Fox Sports channels, you'll never need to miss a game again.
Come on, get happy now.
Introducing Hyundai 4-wheel drive Terracan, the tough new 7-seater with a powerful 3.5-litre V6, overprotective safety, including dual airbags and overwhelming features. With air, alloys, CD and power, everything as standard. All for under $38,000. New Hyundai 4-wheel drive Terracan. Tough to beat.
Come on, get happy now.
Say Fuji, you could win one of 5 trips for 2 adults to the 2002 FIFA World Cup final in Japan. Or you could see it on your JVC widescreen TV. Buy specially marked packs of Fujifilm or quick snap cameras. Call 1900 956 005 and say Fuji for your chance to win.
Welcome back to the Premier League here on Fox. No goals at Anfield between Liverpool and Chelsea. It's all a bit of a sense of anticipation as I bring back Robbie Slater. Chelsea, fair to say, Robbie, have shaded Liverpool. They've done them a little bit for possession, certainly shots on goal, but the old saying, the game needs a goal.
Yeah, it certainly does, and Liverpool, I think, will be quite relieved to go in at 0-0. As you rightfully said, Chelsea had the better chances and probably dominated a little bit. I think particularly Lampard and Petit in the middle of the park got the better of the likes of Haman and Murphy and Gerrard, who did go off. So it really hasn't gone to plan for Liverpool.
Yeah.
The only thing is both sets of strikers relatively quiet. Hasselbank really, I mean, missed one great chance with Heskin and Anelka, although they've worked very hard, certainly have not found any way behind, and Liverpool aren't getting behind the Chelsea defence as well.
Yep.
Milkiot, Desailly, Gallas and Babiar on the left, very, very solid.
Yeah, they've pulled the offside trap pretty successfully, and you were right, because Heskey's been sort of left alone up there, and as you said, they really haven't got him behind Chelsea at all, have they?
They've worked hard, but they certainly haven't. They certainly haven't got any support either from the midfield. We usually see Danny Murphy get into a lot of positions in the box. Really haven't seen that. Maybe with Smeets on now, and although Gerrard is a big loss, Smeets does tend to play more as a winger.
Yep.
And does like to get behind defenders. But as I said, the 4 at the back, Chelsea, all quality players and very, very difficult to get past.
Yeah, they came up with some key touches. You would think that Michael Owen will come on pretty soon to be that foil, because there hasn't really been that foil there with Heskey. So you'd expect him to arrive pretty soon. Yeah,
I think obviously if it stays like this, then we're going to see Owen, but you know, probably don't want to rush him back in too quickly, and maybe just give Anelka and Heskey a little bit more time. But certainly at the moment it doesn't seem to be working. As they've been caught offside quite a few times, and you know, the game plan really hasn't gone. Mind you, Liverpool these days are a team that lets the other side have a lot of possession. Yeah, that's the way they play now. Yeah. But still, they'd be very worried about the chances. Chelsea, they've made 2 great chances really, and should have scored from both of them, but certainly from one of them.
Sure. Okay, from one Merseyside to another, and Everton, Robbie, we're going to look at these highlights now, and what was a thrilling match against Derby County. David Moyes' second successive win in charge of Everton, and Unsworth got him off to a brilliant start.
Great strike, and that pass is made for a left footer, and he's struck it very sweetly.
Second goal in 2 games, I think, from Unsworth, so happy Vegemite at Everton.
Great time of the year to be scoring them.
And what about this from Stubbsy, the ex-Celtic man, Alan Stubbs?
Yeah. And you can just see I mean, watching these few highlights, you can feel the atmosphere, and look at this. 3-0 up.
This was not long after half-time. Alexanderson, I think, there, making it 3-0. And, well, the Derby fans got right behind the Rams and they came back. Branko Strupa, what about this?
It's a magnificent strike, isn't it?
We saw a bit of him, you'll recall, Euro 2000. He was a quality player, but he just hasn't really settled in at Derby. He had some injuries, and this made it 4-1. The big fella, Ferguson.
Yeah, he's getting on the score sheet a little bit. They'll need that.
Well, they've missed him, haven't they?
I mean, this is a big result for them, to be fair.
Yeah. And that was Morris who got it back to 4-2. And you'll see Strupa comes along and grabs his second to make it 4-3 and set up a great finish.
It's a good header, isn't it? Good delivery. But I mean, very important for Everton to get those points, and mate, it was equally important for Derby to try and get them as well.
Yeah, that was and the frustration there, I guess, for John Gregory, because they came back well. It was a high-tempo match, but, well, 3 points lost, and they're going to have to string a couple of wins together pretty soon, otherwise they'll be
defensively, they were just all over this. You can see from the highlights that they are defensively all over the shop, and really when you're giving a team 3-0 lead and then 4-1, I mean, it's a hell of a comeback to pull off, isn't it?
What about Everton? Moyes, a new man in, taken over from Walter Smith. Gascoigne went straight out the door, of course, a long-time fan of Walter Smith, but enough quality players there to at least finish at least mid-table, you would think.
But everyone says that. I mean, all the Premier League clubs, if you look at them, even Leicester on the bottom, if you look at their squad, you say, oh, they've got enough players to stay up. But the simple fact is 3 clubs go down, and that won't change. It happens every year. 3 clubs do go down.
But you'd think Everton...
If you look at Everton, I said they have been involved in a lot of scrapes, and they have been involved in last-day scrapes. But you think that a club like that really shouldn't be continually fighting relegation. But we see it so often as well. David Moyes, the new manager, comes in and you get some good results. I think it's always more interesting to look at over a longer term. Once the initial excitement of the new manager wears off, how do they go then? Obviously, at this stage of the season, it's important to get those results. But what happens is when a new manager comes in, players who haven't been in the team from the previous manager, get excited to think, oh, well, there's a new manager, I can impress him and maybe get into the team, and that's invariably what happens.
All right, mate.
Club a lift.
I'm going to put you under a little bit more pressure here. You predicted 5 goals in this clash. We're going to go to these highlights now.
Mate, 45 minutes to go.
Liverpool, Chelsea, 0-0. Let's have a look.
And a very absorbing game, though.
Indeed, there's the first up effort from Manu Petit, who became a father just the other day and is back on the pitch.
And he's certainly had a good game up until now. This is the Good Johnson chance. Beautiful cross. And he maybe should score, really.
Well, he had a fair bit of goal to look at, even though he was on the stretch, But you were right what you said. This is where they got him behind Liverpool quite a bit down that side.
Great ball from Gonkia. And he has caused Carragher plenty of problems over there, and Carragher has been booked.
But they've had a running battle, all right.
Certainly was a great chance. It's Gonkia again. Off he goes. This is the yellow card inside.
He gave him a nice little touch, but you're spot on. They had a running battle, but he got past him a few times and caused some problems.
Look, Chelsea definitely had the better chances. I mean, it's not like they've torn Liverpool apart. It's been very, very even. But certainly chances-wise, it's a great ball. There was a hint of handball from Good Johnson. Beautiful ball, and Stanic, to be fair, has done everything right. And that,
unlike Jimmy,
is something you're not going to see him top of the goal-scoring list. And Jimmy would be very disappointed in himself that he didn't at least not kick it out the stadium. I think this clears the stand, mate. There you go. See you later.
Yes, that's out the back of Anfield Road somewhere.
Great awareness from Good Johnson. Just puts it up to the back post. Stanic has done everything right, but he's been a hell of a signing for Liverpool. Jersey Dudek.
Got better and better, hasn't he?
He's got dodgy shorts, but he's a great keeper. He really has pulled off some saves this year. He's a rare chance. Heskey being strong, but I mean that's a
that was
quality tackle in a 6-yard box.
Typified. We just put that in. Gallas got a vital touch there, you'll see, and that was pretty much typical of Liverpool's forward progress.
Well, they just had no chances, have they?
Now here's a little incident between Risa and Gronka.
Bit of a tap.
Now tell us something about Risa, just quickly. You know a bit about him. He's a bit of a talker to the press and a bit of a feisty young man.
I spoke to a good friend of mine in Liverpool, and he said that he does like to talk to the papers and has been telling a few. There's a great shot, isn't it? Ranieri looking at Phil Thompson.
Where's the game? Get out of my way.
Well, as long as he doesn't show his profile, mate, he'll knock out the whole game. But the thing is, he does talk to the papers a bit and gives away some of the dressing room secrets. This is what I think we talked about Liverpool's 45. As far as any forward motion goes, that pretty much summed it up.
The blast over, and that typified, as we said, they didn't really ever dismantle Chelsea's defence, did they?
I mean, he's got a good touch there, Carragher, but he's just, I mean, it's a real defender's shot, isn't it? There's Gerrard. Il allait plutôt bien.
Trying to stay calm. And here another half chance, really. Heskey trying to get in on the far post off the Murphy free kick. And
they've been pretty ordinary going forward, let's be honest. Heskey's worked hard. Hasn't really happened for Anelka. It's a good delivery. I mean, he's just asking for someone to attack it, but Desai, the great defender that he is, just shelling it through. And
what do we make of all that, mate?
Well, we make it that Chelsea have shaded it. You know, I mean, we look at those offsides there. Liverpool have been caught offside, and it always makes you wonder, doesn't it, how many times it takes before they wake up. Attempts at goal pretty even, but I don't know where they get the fall for Liverpool. They must have counted one of Jersey Dudek's goal kicks, mate.
Yeah, fair enough.
But Chelsea's shading it, but still, you know, the important one is at the top there. You know, it's 0-0, and it's all to play for.
Just looking at those stats, William Gallas, the young Frenchman, has been a big buy for him, hasn't he? He's a very solid defender, and that solidness has been on show again tonight. Yeah,
he's very highly rated, and mate, he's certainly a fantastic player.
Will we see him at the World Cup, do you think?
I'm not sure. I mean, they do have an abundance of quality, the French, and but he's certainly one for the future for them. He reminds you so much of Desai as well. He's probably not quite as tall, but very, very physical, very strong. And he's got, as all the French players, very comfortable on the ball.
Just quickly getting back to that John Arne Reese's story, I don't think you had a chance to finish it off, but he's quite an outspoken ginger megs young man, a bit like yourself.
Mate, this is just shocking talking about coloured people's hair like that. I'm strawberry blonde anyway.
Okay.
No, it's just, look, it's no big drama. It's just that he has got in trouble a little bit on his own website as well. He does give away a few of the dressing room secrets, and that's pretty much frowned upon.
Raw enthusiasm, I guess, maybe.
I think the story just goes that when the papers want a story, they give him a call, and he's always willing to talk, which is maybe not such a bad thing, but probably in England that's not what the players usually do.
Well, of course, Houllier and certainly Phil Thompson drive a very close-knit ship, don't they? So if anything gets out like that, then there could be some dramas. It wouldn't take much.
Well, no, I mean, obviously there's a lot of influence there. One's the manager, the other's the assistant. I mean, we only have to look at the Robbie Fowler story to understand what can happen. I mean, I don't think anyone should be in any doubt at the reason why Robbie Fowler left, and I think it's directly the relationship with Phil Thompson. And, mate, when the manager's there and the assistant manager or anyone on the coaching staff, there's only one winner.
Well, the other reason I brought that up was Sander Westerveld, who quickly fell out of favour of the keeper, and there was always rumours about him giving away certain Liverpool information from inside the shed.
Well, there you go, mate. So it's just not to... Well, will Reese be on his way as well? I don't think it's got to that stage, and I think Westerveld was just, you know, not very consistent, to be honest, and I think Dudek's been an excellent signing for him.
Just quickly, we mentioned Emil Heskey. With Alan Shearer, of course, not playing for England now, he virtually takes over as the aerial man in the air. You'd expect him to be in South Korea and Japan.
Well, you do get a lot of questions about Heskey from the punter in the street, if you want, but he seems to be so popular with everyone, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's always in the England squad. He's always playing for Liverpool, and I mean, he has found form of late, and now I think we'll definitely be seeing him in Japan and South Korea, but Eriksson keeps changing that squad around, mate, really keeping all the players guessing, I think.
Yep. OK, well, Liverpool are back out.
And here come the Blues.
Here come the Blues.
So, mate, we've got 45 minutes for my 5 goals, don't we?
We're going to have to start banging him in early, Robbie, so we'll head back now to Anfield for this second half of this crucial match. It's no goals, 0-0 between Liverpool and Chelsea.
Dark with you today as Liverpool look to get the breakthrough that will take them to the top of the FA Barclaycard Premiership. But most of the action in the first half was in that Liverpool goalmouth. Chelsea looking the more threatening side. Michael Owen remains on the bench for the time being. But I think if it carries on for this kind of way for another quarter of an hour or so, Owen might well be introduced. Chelsea to get us underway at the start of the second half, now attacking the Kop end of the ground. And remember, a win can take Chelsea into the top 4 ahead of Newcastle United into a Champions League spot. No changes for either side at half-time. Wins the header is Frank Lampard. Now Mario Malki. yacht for Chelsea. Johnson trying to find his strike partner, but not that time. The pair of them have got 49 goals between them so far this season. Hasselbank's on 27, 21 in the Premiership for him, and he got 23 last year when he won the Premiership Golden Boot. He really does have a very, very good strike rate, and he's had it right the way through his career, even going back to his days at Boa Vista, from where Leeds signed him for a couple of million. Carragher. It's a difficult ball, but he executed it well to find Emil Heskey. Risa. And Heskey will come to challenge. The injury to Steven Gerrard, and Sven-Göran Eriksson will be interested in the news, was that he had a slight tightening, and I'm quoting here, of the groin, the left groin, which is why, as a precaution, he was taken off by Liverpool. So that doesn't sound anything too serious. Hasselbank's challenge on Risa, who screamed out as he went down there. Risa's hair gets ruffled by a Chelsea player, and this time there's no angry reaction. Smisa was the player who laid it inside to Heskey. Xavier in towards Anelka. Desai gets it away. Chelsea would regard a point here, I think, as a pretty good result. That's a lovely piece of play by Petty. By the way, that Chelsea have a home game with Manchester United among their remaining fixtures, and that's a tough one for the defending champions as well. Liverpool will hope they're as resilient there as they are today so far. Here's Babayaro. Nicely worked down the line towards Stanic, but Oncho, the Swiss international, was across. Gerard Houllier, but his captain, Sami Hyypiä, his dad grew up as a Manchester United fan and tried to convert Sami to it. So Desai will be penalised for that one, which was evident to several thousand eyes around the stadium. Now Michael Owen is being warmed up, so the first sign that the Wonder Boy is about to make his entrance. Might be 10 minutes or so away yet. Carragher. Melchior. Two teams just cancelling each other out, rather. There's a strong element of that about what we're watching here. Two very good defensive sides. Now Murphy. Just getting to that point where the game, absorbing as it has been, does rather need a goal. Hasselbank. Malkiet long for Gronkjar, who's got the pace to get there, and the presence of mind to check back like that too. He tried to work a little angle for his cross, so Risa had got back to help out, and he's still struggling a bit. Here's John Arne Risa. Is he going to be able to continue? They've already had to take Gerrard off. So one or two little knocks accruing for Liverpool. Here's the corner from Petty. Very, very poor one indeed. Between Babayaro and Cudicini. Xavier. Svitzer. Now Murphy. Didi Hamann out wide to Jamie Carragher. And offside. Frustration for Liverpool, who've been able to create precious little in truth so far. Manchester United and Sir Alex Ferguson will be watching developments here with great interest. For the moment, the destiny of the title is outside United's hands. Arsenal look in a good position, only a point behind with 2 games in hand. Though they have to go to Old Trafford yet. What a game that's going to be. Doing the covering. Liverpool crowd strangely quiet. I don't know whether it's tension or whether they were all cried out the other night in that Roma match. Just needing, I think, their side to give them a bit more of a reason to believe. Heskey lays it off and Nauka wouldn't quite sit right for his volley. Just couldn't quite get the body shape right here, Anelka, to get this anywhere near on target. He's got 3 since arriving at Liverpool, and 2 of them lately. It's something of an irony, wasn't it, if the goals of Anelka were to somehow scupper Arsenal's Championship challenge. The team measured that neatly for Hasselbank. Lampard out wide. Gronkjaer seeing a lot of the ball. Chelsea know he might be the key. The bounce was difficult there, but it was coped with pretty well by Oncho. So Stanic has got a problem. Just a bitty start, really, to this second half. And that's how it happened. He's doing okay, though, on that left flank, which is unfamiliar territory for him. He nearly scored. He's come closer than anybody else so far. Gronkjaer done neatly. Melchiot. One in the air by Xavier. A lot of tough men back there. Now then, Gudjonsson. That's very well challenged. It needed to be by Oncho. He had to win the ball there. There's always the risk with the missed timing that would have been a penalty. But it was perfectly done. And he's looking a class defender. Gudjonsson flicks it on. Oncho gets it away, back by Stanic. Here's Gudjonsson trying to work some kind of angle and getting a free kick from Xavier, who ended up with a long ban, remember, over his histrionics for Portugal in the Euro 2000 semi, along with a couple of other players. Rather milder protest there, but this is a bit promising for Chelsea, which is why Desai has decided to come forward here. Malkiet's in there as well, and Gallas. All the defenders joining in. Hasselbank takes with pace. And it was away, and the player who cleared it has almost been knocked out. Who was that in there? Was it Hamann? Hard to see among all the bodies in the crowded penalty area. But he really got hold of that. Yeah, it was Hamann. He nearly knocked his head off. Brings back memories of the old footballs they used to use, which were made of leather and soaked up all the water and were like 10-ton weights to head on a rainy day. He's going to need a couple of aspirin, that's for certain, after this. Some sympathetic applause. And Owen just taking off the tracksuit bit by bit. His time's coming here. Liverpool certainly need an injection of something if they're going to get 3 points out of this, though they may well take the pragmatic view that one wouldn't be the end of the world. Xavier Long, instant control, beautiful control by Anelka. Lovely technique that. Played in towards Murphy, away by Malkian, big header by him, and then Babayaro. It's going to take, you feel, one moment of inspiration or one horrendous error to maybe just separate the sides here. That could easily happen, of course. The longer it stays at 0-0, I think the more fearful the players will become of making that kind of error too. Now it's Risa to curl one in. Liverpool's chance to provide a bit of threat. Played in there deep. Heskey couldn't get his head on it. Just get the impression Desai knew what he was doing here. He just sort of the old defender's trick. He just jumped very, very slightly into him as he was about to make the header. Now Owen will come on, having missed the last 3 matches, and surprisingly it's Abel Xavier who's coming off. So they're taking off a defender and putting on a striker. So maybe they're going to play with 3 up here, Liverpool. So I think you can delete what I was saying a moment or two ago about Liverpool maybe not heartbroken about only getting a point out of this. They want all 3. They want to take advantage of Manchester United's slip-up yesterday against Middlesbrough. Anelka on the chase. Gallas, who's been very steady back there and looked good, got it away again. Lampard. Nice piece of midfield play by him. And now Gronkjar, can he get it? He can! It's Gronkjar! And he can't finish it! Mistake by Risa. Very nearly let the Dutch winger in. Well, it did let him in, but he didn't. Managed to finish it off, and that all started by some very nice midfield play by Frank Lampard. Risa, it looked his ball, but he didn't get it, and Gronkjar couldn't curl it into the far corner. In fact, he was nowhere even close. Chelsea may rue these missed opportunities. There have been 2 or 3 of them now. Murphy, come on, likes to shoot from out there. Decibel level is switched up by the Liverpool fans. They may watch this and believe, well, their sides have 1 or 2 scary moments in this game. They're still on level terms, and they may believe the best of Liverpool still to come. Gronkjar's been switched out to the left-hand side. Aman in towards Murphy. Stanic has gone to the right, which is more familiar territory for him. Smica, finding it very hard to break down Chelsea. Got a good shape about them, and Liverpool are going to need something a bit extra. Strange ball by Smica, but Heskey managed to make something of it. Here's Anelka. Took a little nudge from Stanic. Referee thought that Anelka was looking for the free kick and waved play on. Gallas. He's not quite sure where he's taking it. Pretty high up the pitch. The former Marseille player. He was in the Marseille side that beat Manchester United a couple of seasons ago in the Champions League, Gallas. Hour gone in the FA Barclaycard Premiership. Liverpool 0, Chelsea 0. A game of few chances, but it's a game of enormous significance too. Difficult one for Dudek, this. He's got it, and he's got it very confidently too. And away they go towards Anelka. Heskey's now playing wide on the left for Liverpool, with Anelka and Owen up top. Carragher's gone to right back, Risa to left back, and there is Carragher in that right back position. So a big reshuffle really by Liverpool to accommodate the entrance of Michael Owen. Here's Gallas for Chelsea, who've certainly had the better of things so far anyway. Gudjohnsen lets it run. Hasselbank. Gudjohnsen again. Looks good so far, but the Icelandic international can't finish it off. Steven Gerrard showered and changed, and with this slight groin injury, which hopefully won't amount to too much. Little header down for Smitsa. Murphy forward, but that didn't really be much of a problem for Dudek, who was charged into by Anelka, and the French striker won't get away with that. Oof. Almost feel that one from here. Cudicini, bang. It's a tough game, and it's one of the reasons the players these days do so much weight training to build up their body strength. Well, is Desai okay here? Cudicini isn't. Desai is just going to have a bit of treatment as well, moving a little uneasily. They do have John Terry, who has been out with a foot injury and missed the last 6 games, on the bench here, so I wonder whether he might come on. Gudjohnsen. Something going to give soon, as Grokja, now controlling the left touchline, plays it inside to Lampard. Gallas. Terry, by the way, is warming up for Chelsea while Desai gets treatment. No sign yet of Michael Owen. Here's his first involvement. Wide for Risa. Has come back on the pitch for the moment. I'm sure the physio is keeping a close watch on him. Now Smitsa. Good little turn by the Czech. In there by Murphy. Stanic, not a very good clearance. Aman. Now then, Heskey likes to patrol this left side, doesn't he? Does it for England sometimes. Risa in towards the back post. Smitsa couldn't get his head to it. Cudicini has hardly had a save to make so far. Chelsea looking a distinctly useful side, as recent results would seem to indicate. This could break for Owen here. Danger is Owen! And suddenly there's a rise in the decibel level every time he gets the ball. It comes out of Rees, who can really crack them, and that was a terrible bounce for the goalkeeper right in front of him, but he did very well to hold on to it. Liverpool at last create moments of danger. See, the very presence of Owen, I think, unsettles defences. Stanic got a knock, and here Owen was kind of one-on-one with Gallas for a moment. He did ever so well. Liverpool know that it might just take one sight of goal for Michael Owen to settle this crunch game. Owen's got 23, by the way, for the season so far. But before his layoff, he'd gone 3 without a goal. In other words, he's due one. I'm sure that's the way that the more cynical Chelsea fans would see it. Stanic cuts it across quite neatly and finds Gronkjar cutting in. It's still Gronkjar. And well picked up by Lampard for Chelsea here. But that's too long. Lampard, pretty good influence in that midfield. Well, they were talking on the phone for months on end, Gerard Houllier and Phil Thompson. Now they can do it face to face. They're planning another change. It looks like Jari Litmanen is about to be introduced. Liverpool want all 3 points, and Nelka helps it on. Chelsea 4-0 winners over Liverpool in December. They haven't done the double over Liverpool since, would you believe, 1920? It's going to be Anelka who will make way for Jari Litmanen, who will present one or two different kind of problems. Murphy, good little flick on. Here is Anelka, though. And tremendous covering from Desai. He was so quickly across there. Things just starting to change. Jeff Winter, the 4th official, wanting a word with Gerard Houllier, whose doctors, I'm sure, have told him not to get too emotionally involved. Almost impossible when you're the manager of a Premiership football team going for the Championship. Well, they've drawn all kinds of diagrams. They're showing Litmanen what they want him to do. And he's got about 22 minutes in which to do it. Good bounce for Liverpool. Heskey picks it up. Herpia. Nice, lovely control by Smeetser. Carragher playing it forward. Owen really wants the ball a bit lower than that, into feet really. Now Smeetser. Haman, Smeetser again, it's lovely football. Owen, Haman. Oh, beautifully worked by Liverpool. Some real attacking flair there. They couldn't produce a real opportunity on the end of it, though. So that was good to watch. Just one or two signs that the introduction of Owen is giving Liverpool a bit more buzz in forward positions. Risa. Here's Heskey. Anelka rather, into Heskey. Murphy. Vladimir Smeetser. Ball threat, and Anelka couldn't make his header count. They're preparing to sub him. He's lifted his performance from that moment almost, Anelka. Get the impression here that Liverpool are building up a bit of a head of steam. Certainly their best spell of the game. nick a crucial goal. It's a Liverpool corner now. 20 minutes remaining. Risa curls it in, and Anelka couldn't get his head to it. Aman. Owen in behind. Gallas, another important interception from him. It only goes as far, though, as John Arne Risa. He's on his wrong foot. And again, Chelsea get it away. Haman plays it in. Anelka! And into the back of the net. But the flag was up. The flag was up. It isn't going to count. But Liverpool are creeping closer here. And it was offside. No dispute about that. The Liverpool fans have really come to life. They can sense that Liverpool are building up momentum. And it's no coincidence that that momentum started with Owen's introduction. And Heskey down this left-hand side with a powerful run here. But Mario Stanic, give him credit, did enough. Just enough to prevent Heskey really breaking through on goal. There's more urgency now about Liverpool. Is he chatting with Ranieri there, Phil Thompson? It looked like it, didn't it? Chelsea, by the way, have scored in every game in their last 16 matches in all competitions. That might end today. Smeetsa. Oh, it's too long for Owen. And it's out of play. It must be a corner kick, surely. Here's a goal about to arrive for the Reds. This is as threatening as they've looked. Always a danger in there, but there was some pushing going on by Anelka on Desai. Plenty of Gallic talent out on that pitch today. Petit as well, of course. Risa. Anelka, very athletic. Smeetsa. Abiyaro. Hasselbank. Gronkia. Again torments Carragher. Good ball in, Oncho. Has to get it behind, but Gronkia went out to the left-hand side. And Carragher might have been glad to get rid of him because he was at left back at that time. He's been moved to right back. He's got to mark him again now. And Gronkia's had the better of that battle, I think it's fair to say. Carragher doesn't seem to be able to cope with his turn of foot. Now Chelsea, can they nick something? Oh, it's gone a long way. And it came off Malkiot in there, and then Lampard couldn't finish it off. He's come up with half a dozen goals. Frank Lampard is a good goal scorer from midfield. Haman didn't really win the header. It was behind Malkiot, to be fair. And then Lampard blasted it, well, into oblivion, really. Here's Celestine Babayaro. It's a Nigerian side due to play Paraguay at Queen's Park Rangers in midweek. Doesn't know if he'll be included. Anelka, out of play, surely. Whole of the ball had crossed the whole of the line. Liverpool have had that squall of pressure. Can they maintain the intensity? Chelsea just beginning to live dangerously, or they were a couple of minutes ago, starting to push forward themselves a bit more again now. Malkia. Good ball in to Hasselbank. There's some movement. Gronkjar's in a lot of room. Gudjohnsen, lovely run. And the flag was up against Ida Gudjohnsen. That must have been tight. Once again, the wonderful understanding between Hasselbank and Gudjohnsen. Look, when it was released, it is there. And yes, he is offside. Good decision by the officials. This defensive organisation you're seeing from both sides here doesn't come about by accident. It takes hours and hours and hours of work on the training ground. Risa. Lovely leap by Heskey there, but the referee wasn't too impressed. Well, any goal now, you feel, would be the decider. It's always had the makings of being a low-scoring game, even though Chelsea have been rattling in a lot. Remember, Liverpool's defence usually gives nothing or next to nothing away. Hasselbank. Gronkjar did well. It's Babayaro linking up with him. Obstruction, was it? No. Must have been a marginal case. The law there is that the defending player has to be within playing distance of the ball as he blocks the other guy's run. I'm not sure that Carragher was. Carragher chipped up towards Danny Murphy, who had broken forward from midfield. Haman. Now Anelka for Liverpool. Sweets are backing in. Carragher low, but again Liverpool unable to create anything that clear-cut. They have dropped points at home this season, Liverpool, in draws with Leeds and Fulham. Bolton, Southampton and Everton also came away with draws from Anfield, and when they look back at the end of the season, they could prove expensive, those kind of slip-ups. Malkia, oh, misunderstanding. A draw would put Chelsea back to 5th place, ahead of Leeds United, but wouldn't lift them to 4th. Now, 35-year-old Gianfranco Zola, described in very glowing and warm terms by his manager as the revered elder statesman of Stamford Bridge, is about to come on. Wonderful little player, of course, and a fantastic sportsman. Is there any better example to kids playing in the whole of the Premiership, I wonder, than Zola? Charming man, and he still can play a little bit, mostly as a sub these days. Let's watch this corner from Liverpool. Oh, and Owen with the shot on the turn. He went through a crowd of players while the crowd was screaming for a penalty. There's the Owen effort. It was Haman who gone down. There were half-hearted appeals for a penalty, not given. Chelsea survived. Now Anelka, who's got some real pace. It's Anelka. He's forced very, very wide. And Gallas did his job well. It was almost Olympic speed from those two chasing that one. Now look at this again. Is there a foul, first of all, on Haman by, is it Hasselbank? Yeah. Does he pull him over? Well, there's certainly one you could argue, isn't it? 10 minutes left. Liverpool corner. John Arne Risa to take it. Goes deep. Heskey was waiting to pull the trigger. Murphy plays it up into the penalty area. Heskey could get nothing significant onto it. We think that Eidur Jonsson is the player who will come off here to be replaced by Zola. They were going to take Stanic off. They've changed their minds. Chelsea, that's the word from the bench. He does like to tinker. Does Claudio Ranieri. He's often been known to make 3 substitutions at half-time.
Chelsea substitution.
Good Jonsson, who had a very good first half an hour, faded a little bit since then. Zola, who will add plenty of twinkle-toed skills and craft. Not got long though. He got a touch straight away. Away by Carragher, not very far. Here's Petit. Zola lays it off to Babayaro. Johnson's got a slight back strain, we're told, which is why they made the change and left Stanic out there. One in the air by Risa. Picked up by the impressive Gallas. He and Desai have played really well for Chelsea. Stanic, and as ever, Oncho and Herpia likewise for Liverpool. Do they ever play a bad game, those two? That's why it's still 0-0. There have been chances, but not many of them. Risa long. Looks like Murphy's been given a brief to try to make runs from midfield and turn up in some unexpected areas and maybe just nick a goal. Now then, it's a change that Liverpool have been waiting to make for quite a long time. Anelka off. Jari Litmanen with 7 minutes to do something about it. Scored with a very, very cool penalty early on. A lot of pressure on him against Roma the other night. And he did it with some aplomb. Not a bad sub to have coming on, is it? Jari Litmanen, the greatest player Finland have ever produced. Malkiet's clearance only goes as far as Risa. Chelsea will now have to endure a corner. Liverpool looking for the goal that would send them to the top of the Premiership. Murphy curls it in. Catching practice for Cudicini. Player who was signed from the Italian 3rd Division, Cudicini. Called Castel di Sangro. Gronkiar with the old-fashioned look to the officials. This was laid back to Dudek, and it's handball. Not quite sure what the look was from Gronkiar, really. I'm sure he read as a boy that you're not allowed to handle the ball. Here is Heskey. Lampard picks it up for Chelsea, plays it to Petit, then Zola. Bit of work for Babayaro to do, but he's done it. Is there to be late drama here? Any goal scored could have a massive impact things at the top of the table, one way or another. Not towards Michael Owen. Gallas looking an athletic and Strong presence back there alongside Desai. One for Hasselbank to chase. He had that one glorious chance on the volley. By no means easy, but it was from close range. Desai working well with his goalkeeper. Chelsea within sight of what they'd regard as a valuable point. I'm sure they went off at half-time thinking they might well have been in front, but the way things have developed since then, I think they would think that a draw was a perfectly acceptable result at Anfield, as most teams would indeed. Only Villa and Arsenal have won here in the Premiership this season. Lampard looking for the 1-2, almost fell for Hasselbank, but no. And Risa goes for distance, you could say. Starts to look as though Liverpool will stay in third place, albeit level on points with Arsenal, 1 point behind Manchester United. What a title race. Lampard into Hasselbank. Looking for the 1-2. It's Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank! Oh! Just over the bar. And it seemed there as if Chelsea were going to steal it. They worked this beautifully. Lovely bit of inventive football. Lampard. And then this 1-2 with Hasselbank just lifting it over. That close. Hasselbank has scored every time he's played against Liverpool for Chelsea since he made the move to Stamford Bridge, by the way. He also scored a couple of goals here in his Leeds days in a 3-1 win. That was in Gerard Houlier's first game in charge of Liverpool. So they don't really like the sight of him around here. Well, that's two big opportunities he's had today, and neither have gone in. Doesn't often happen. Here's Risa. Now Liverpool's turn to threaten. 88 minutes gone to. Stanic for Chelsea. Sure, he's thinking, should I put that one away? We'd have had 3 points to go back down the motorway with. Aman. Ooh, nicely measured. Littmanen, though, is offside. Pained look on his face. Pulled away into an interesting area, but Chelsea, back there has been pretty exemplary throughout. Inside the last minute, plus anything that the referee wants to add on. There's going to be 3 minutes of that. Time enough. Flicks it on. Owen lays it off. Then Murphy, and offside again against Littmanen. Even Gerard Houllier was off his seat, but the decision looks fair enough to me. It was just a bit of frustration showing. I think the referee's assistant had a better view than anybody sitting on the Liverpool bench, with due respect. We're playing the added time. Good looking ball. Murphy, can he get there? Yes, he can, but again, Liverpool are pulled back. One or two nasty moments for Chelsea and their travelling fans laid on here, and they have been indebted 3 times now in about a minute to that linesman's flag. Murphy, an important little touch. Smeetser in towards Owen. Gallas got it away. Here come Liverpool again. Litmanen to Heskey. He might not get very many more opportunities. Heskey does well. Pulls it right back in, and a goal! Late on! It's Vladimir Smeetser. What a finish for Liverpool! A goal to project them to the top of the Premiership. It's the Houllier effect again. It's a wonderful finish, this, in stoppage time. Heskey with a driving run down that left-hand side, and look at this finish from Smeetser. Nothing at all that Cudicini could do about that. It went like an exocet into the back of the net for Smeetser. It's only his 3rd goal of the season and only his 2nd in the Premiership. And listen to Anfield rocking now. Everything they touch at the moment seems to turn to gold. Certainly this week, 2-0 over Roma, and Chelsea, who might well have sneaked ahead themselves when Hasselbaink had that chance laid on, find themselves 1 behind. It's a bit harsh on Chelsea, in truth, but Liverpool won't worry about that. Manchester United will, though, and so will Arsenal. They haven't been top since December. But when the referee blows here in about half a minute, they will be back on top of the pile. A point clear of Manchester United, having played the same number of games. 2 clear of Arsenal, who will have 2 games in hand on both of them, and maybe in the best position of all. The whistle has not gone, despite the raised arms of a couple of Liverpool players. What a finish. Great goal by Vladimir Smeetser, fit to win any match, really. And that goal would have been cheered in Newcastle and Leeds as well, rivals with Chelsea for that 4th Champions League spot. And Liverpool with a winnable-looking game at home to Charlton next week. While Manchester United go to Leeds, it's Vladimir Smeetser. Claudio Ranieri can manage a smile through that, and it must be a smile through gritted teeth. He wishes Gerard Houllier well. It's the managers' union. That's hard on Chelsea, really, who contributed well, defended well, deserved a point, but in the end, Liverpool have this happy knack of eking out results, and they've got all 3 points thanks to a sumptuous stoppage time volley from Vladimir Smeetser. It's Liverpool 1, Chelsea 0. Liverpool are top of the FA Barclaycard Premiership.
Yes, Ian Dark has said it all there. Liverpool